Guys, I've got some group updates for you just before bringing Mark on. So we're chatting with Mark Huyton tonight, guys, all about his brand new product, Shark Bag, which I'm sure most of you by now, hopefully, would have seen the posts on Trial Talk. But before I bring him on, I've just got a few updates that I want to give you in regards to the Trial Talk coaching program. So yesterday, I fired on a post which outlined some of the brand new discounts that are included now when you join membership inside the coaching group, okay? And included is now a 50% discount on your CRM software, which is your trade base. Now, if you don't know what that is, I'm sure some of you will know what that is because I've spoken about it a few times. But if you don't know what that is, next week on Monday, there's going to be a brand new 16-minute long introduction video, which is going to outline everything you need to know, or at least get the wheels turning for you inside your trade base, which is a job management tool to keep on top of your customers and your jobs, so you don't keep missing deadlines and having jobs run over, etc. Helps you to stay managed in your plastering business. So we've got 50% currently off that for the whole year. That's a big chunk. That's a lot of money in your back pocket. £150 saving it is. So it's going from like £25 down to £12.50 per month. So it's a decent saving on that. We've also got 10% now off bead fix tape as well, which I know is proving popular on the difficult to fix solid corners when you're beading up. For example, if you've got a sand and cement corner, the bead fix tape can come in quite handy for you if you're struggling to fix a bead. So 10% off that as well. And again, we've got the existing discounts as well. So this is additional to the 30% off cork sole, the 20% off the Pro Render Academy training, the 25% off the internal wall insulation video training program, which is coming in the next month or two, 15% off your Needler tools, 40% off your Easy Mix products, which I know you guys are loving. Well, this time of year, it'll probably be half time that you're using, not extra time. 50% off your socket beads and your spotlight beads. If you don't know what they are, go and search Pete Carter in Trial Talk and you'll see what they are. Brilliant bit of kit, especially if you are doing IWI. So if you've got a foam back plasterboard, for example, these socket beads can come into play and really help you out on the IWI. And lastly, guys, 30% off Rafina tools. So some huge discounts, big long list of discounts now, guys, for the coaching groups. 80p a day for you to join. I will put another post up maybe next week sometime just to refresh us on that again. But yeah, if you're looking to access these discounts, and this by the way is on top of all your business coaching, so your organic marketing coaching and your automation training, your video marketing training, everything, it's on top of all that lot as well. So I know that's also areas that you guys struggle with as well in your businesses, your marketing. And on the topic of marketing, this month, and I'm going to run this into next month as well, so for the next kind of 6 weeks, I'm currently giving away a free video edit, because one of the complaints that I always get on the coaching group is, well, I don't know how to edit videos, Stu. I don't know where to start. I don't know which app to use. I don't know how to work the apps. So I've took that on board because I know it's difficult, and also putting yourself on camera can be difficult. So what I'm doing at the moment, I'm taking an intro video, which only has to be 1 or 2 minutes, from the coaching group lads. So they'll film themselves promoting their business, promoting some of their most profitable services, and just giving an overview for the customer of what you cover in your plastering business, some of the services that you cover. They'll send me that intro video of them talking, and then I'll edit that, combine it with some of their customer reviews and some of their best work images, and I'll actually make you for free a 1-minute intro video for you that you can go and bash all over your socials, your website, TikTok, wherever you want. You can send it directly to customers. You can put it into your WhatsApp catalog, etc. So if that sounds interesting, I'm doing that for the next 6 weeks on the house. It's free. All you got to do is have the balls to make an intro video off your phone. Most of us have got really good cameras now on our smartphones. So if you want to jump on that and get involved, you're going to get that. You're going to get all the coaching, the business coaching, and you're going to get all these discounts as well. I hope that kicks 2025 off strong for everybody. And again, there'll be a link that I'll post up following this live session. You can go and get involved. But that's enough plugging. Let's pull Mark in, because I'm excited to talk to him about his brand new product, the Shark Bag. Good evening, Mark. How are you, mate? You okay?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all good, mate. I was just talking to you before you come on camera. Somebody sent me a really good video, and it was you in your garage making a demonstration of how these shark bags work. And it really got my attention, because over the last couple decades, and I speak for most domestic plasterers, by the way, as well. Not so bad if you're on site, because obviously there's always a bit of muddy ground you can go and lob, the slot bucket into. But if you're a domestic plasterer, we've always got that ongoing problem of how do we get rid of the dirty plaster water when we finish mixing up or cleaning our tools down. And I'm a right lazy git, so I let this bucket get really dirty. Well, I know some plasterers are really disciplined, and they'll clean it out every single day, and then the next day it'll be fresh. I'm a bit lazy in that way, so I'll leave it, and by the time we get to the end of the job, which, to be fair, most of my jobs are, small domestic rooms. So I'll be doing internal wall insulation in a bedroom, for example. So it could be 2 or 3 days long, and by the third day, this tub looks like something out of a horror movie. It's absolutely saturated with sloppy plaster, and it's always a ball ache, isn't it? Dragging it down the stairs, trying to find somewhere to get rid of it. So when I seen this video, I thought this is going to relate with a lot of spreads, this, as plasterers especially. So, but guys, let me know in the chat, for those of you that are watching live now, let me know in the chat, what do you do with your dirty plaster water? What's your routine? Is it like straight into the customer's flower beds? Do you take it home with you? I've seen on the comments yesterday some lads saying that they try and drain most of it down, and then they'll just take it home with them and try and find somewhere, maybe in their own garden, well, they'll get rid of it there. But Mark, you've designed a product to cure this problem, haven't you? So firstly, can I ask, what's your background, mate? Are you a tradesperson? Are you a spread?
Yeah, I'm a multi. Okay. I do everything: kitchens, bathrooms, plaster and tile, and painting and decorating, joinery. I do the lot. But this problem with the plastering, and even when I'm tiling or screeding floors, it's just always drove me nuts for years, which is why I've come up with this product.
And what was the initial light bulb moment? Did you sort of, because I was thinking, how did he think of this? Was it like, did you get a piece of cloth or something and try and drain a bit out and think, hang on a minute, I could maybe recycle this water? How did the idea actually come about for the shark bag?
So the idea came about 3 years ago, and initially it was going to be called the builder's bin. So it was going to be a bin with various stages of filters in it. And at the top, there was going to be like a gauze to catch any lumps of plaster, then a finer grade filter, and then work the filters down to the point where it was at the bottom and the water was coming through. And the more I drew it and designed it and tried to come up with the idea, I just thought this is far too complicated. And then I thought, well, it was early last year. I just thought to myself, well, the filters are going to end up going into a bin bag, and all the stuff that was caused by the gauze would be going into a bin bag. Why not make the product just the bag, and then you can just pour it in. Everything's captured in the bag. The water comes out, and then you chuck the bag away. That kind of lasted, like, it was a few years ago I came up with the idea, but I had my real eureka moment last year when I finally came up with the bag. I was trying to think of a name. I didn't want to call it the builder's bag. And then I was thinking about the basking shark that swims along with its mouth open, filtered in the water. Yeah. And that's where the name come from, shark bag. And that's the logo. That's a basking shark.
I was going to ask about that, because I kind of assumed that you were going off the shape of the bag. and the, like you say, the opening at the top was the shark's mouth, but I didn't want to look stupid on camera. So I'm glad you clarified that. So, and also, does this need like a stand? Because I was thinking on one of your pictures. In fact, I've got some slides here that I'll pull onto screen to show the guys live. That's obviously your logo there.
Yeah.
Now this one here, can you see that? Okay, Mark, that image.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got the shark bag hanging on some sort of device. Do you have to buy that separately? And if so, is it expensive?
You can literally hang the bag from anything you like. What I didn't want to do is I didn't want people feeling obliged that they had to buy my stand to be able to use the product. So I've designed it that you can just hang it from anything. And so you could even make your own stands or cobble up a bit of wood over the top of a bucket, whichever, just anything just to support the bag. Or if you choose to buy the stands, it is available on the website. And I am going to come up with something else. I've spoke to me supplier yesterday, and we're going to design a bracket that goes onto the top of the big straight plaster mixing buckets, like the 100-litre ones, and just sits on the top of over the sides of the bucket. So then you could literally strap that into your van, pour your waste in the back of your van into the bag in the bucket and drive off. And then that can be filtering down overnight or on your way to your next job. Because that's one of my biggest bugbears with it. It's the time of it draining down.
So it actually takes a number of hours, I'm assuming, then to completely drain down.
It takes about an hour. To drain down.
Not too long.
Yeah, it's not too long, but like somebody commented, on a Friday when you want to just get the pub, it's like waiting around for an hour isn't ideal. But what I always thought was, personally, when I do a spread, I'll get that mix on, spread it on my wall, my ceiling, whichever, and then while I'm waiting for it to firm up a bit, I'll wash all my buckets down. So then as I pour it through the bag and leave it just to do its thing, and then I can be trialing off then. And then when I'm all trialed off, everything's cleaned up and I'm good to go. That was always my idea how it would work. Obviously, we all have different ways of working, so that might not work for some people, which is why I want them to be able to utilise it in the back of the van. So I'm developing a bracket for the big mixing buckets.
No, I think that's spot on. I mean, I'm just thinking of how I work, and by the time I've got control of my second coat, if you like, I might give it a couple flattens, and now I've got a bit of time on my hands where I can relax a bit.
That's it.
So I would probably then think, right, let's wash everything down, and I could put everything into the shark bag then at that stage.
Yeah,
and I've still got at least another hour. By the time you've hard trialed, cleaned up a bit, that's going to be fully drained, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what I wanted to ask you is, can you use that water? How clean is the water that's draining out? Could you actually use it for another mix, or is it going to be too contaminated?
Well, somebody commented and said they could use that for another. So you could filter your first mix and then use that water for your second mix to get it to go off quicker, because the chemical reaction's already taken place in the water. Because I think the chemicals do get through, because I've left the water sitting in a bucket and I've had some white residue in the bucket, and I'm guessing that's the chemicals. But I am sending that water off for analysis to a laboratory to see what actually gets through the bag, because no sediment gets through. It's literally just the chemicals. So yeah, you could use that water for cleaning, or you could use it for another mix. Yeah, or just easily just pour it away.
Yeah, even if you could use that water, and if, let's say, you work in top floor of a flat or tower block, you could then filter the water down and chuck it down the loo, couldn't you? Essentially.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's another thing what made me push this product forward. I was working in a penthouse in Liverpool, last year at some time, and I was just struggling to get rid of my waste. And I just thought, oh my God, if I had my shark bag with me now, I could just be filtering all this. I ended up having to sneak downstairs with all buckets of waste and pour it in the wheelie bin and hope it didn't get caught.
Oh no.
It's terrible.
I've seen some horror stories. I'll tell you, like in my years of spreading, I've worked with some dodgy plasterers over the years, and I've seen them lob it straight into a skip that clearly had, it was a semi-empty skip, so obviously they're not waterproof. And this customer's had like brand new concrete printed drive, and this slot waters just ran straight through the skip, straight down this customer's drive. Customers come out kicking off. I've seen them, throw it in the road. Obviously, the storm drain is a popular one, which what I tend to do is try to empty out most of it so that I can carry it down into the road, and I'll try and get rid of most of it down the storm drain. But this seems a much more sensible solution than struggling along like that and messing around. So I really like the idea.
What I thought. Yeah.
And can you actually recycle these, Mark, or is it like a one-time thing where you can only use it once and bin it?
So it's a new product, so I'm still kind of testing how much abuse you can take and how long you can get them to last for. I'm kind of finding this out with customers that have bought them. So it's a bit of a learning curve at the moment. But it's one of them. What I'm saying to people is I'd recommend just factoring one bag into like an average size plastering job. So let's say you're plastering an average size living room, ceilings and walls. Just factor one shark bag into the job. And if the customer looks at your quote and says, "What's this shark bag thing here?" and they don't want to pay it, you can take it off the quote and then say, "Well, where do you want me to pour the waste?" And if they say, "Well, pop it down my sink," on their head beer.
On them. I mean, to be fair, what are they? 20 quid?
It's 19.99 for 2 bags.
If you can't price that into a domestic job, you shouldn't be in business.
Yeah, well, I've tried to keep the price as low as I can. Obviously, there's a lot of overheads to consider to get the product just to the point of sale, and then it's a business, so it has to make some money because I've got all them overheads to cover, and it is a business. So
if you think of it as a like per room, you're going to hit out a room and then have the waste, aren't you? It's a tenner a room, isn't it?
That's what I thought. It's not excessive. I think as a customer, if I could see my plasterer was being conscious of their waste and getting rid of it responsibly, I'd happily pay the tenner.
Yeah, fantastic. No, that seems to me that seems fair. That seems good value for money to me. Brilliant, mate. I just want to hit the chat, Mark, because I can see that the chat's really busy at the minute. I've got this streaming through the coaching group, but also through the community group as well. Thanks for everybody that's joined, by the way. I'm just going to hit the chat and see if anybody's got any questions. And guys, if you have got any questions on the shark bag for Mark, let us know right now while we're live. We're going to be live for the next 10 minutes or so. So let us know. Joel Cook's on. Good evening, Joel Cook. How you doing, mate? Keeping well? He says he's loving the hat. Yeah, any excuse to cover the bald head, Joel. You know how it rolls. Chris Black's on. Good evening, Chris. Chris Sprott is on. Good evening, mate. Good evening, Mark Shepherd. Mark says he used to chuck it down the drains in the street. Yeah, the old storm drain. Mentioned that earlier, Mark. Who else we got on? Gerrant's on. Gerrant Shaw. Good evening, mate. Another Liverpool lad. Are you from Liverpool, mate? Where are you from, Mark?
Yeah, I'm from Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah.
Yeah, 12 months ago, though, we relocated up to Longridge in Ribble Valley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Joel says, brilliant idea, wicked idea. When we clean the rendering machine out, there's always loads of slush and debris. He says that he's going to buy one of these to test it out on his when he's cleaning out his rendering machine. Happy days. It might work for... I don't know if you've tested any rendering materials, Mark, or is it just tile adhesive and plaster, is it, you've tested?
I've done multi-finish, bond and coat, tile adhesive, grout, mortar. I haven't done render, but it filters down to 1 micron, so I can't see it having an issue dealing with render. It should be fine. The only thing it did do the other day, I tried paint. It didn't filter paint.
Mark says he loves the idea. Wish you all the best. He says it will take time to get it out there, but you're doing the right thing, giving some products away, some samples, and Mark Shepherd is the founder of Easy Mix. So he does like the plaster additives. So he's just giving you a few business tips by the sound of it there. Nice one, Mark. Rick Hodgson says, great idea, mate. He loves it. Michael Cowell, he says, how do we buy? So how can lads get hold of it then, mate? You got a website or Facebook page?
Yeah.
Or?
So I've got, at the moment, they're available on the website, which is sharkbags.co.uk. The stock hasn't arrived yet. That is due. I think I had an email earlier. I think the ship has now docked. So I should have the stock by the middle of February, according to my shipping agents. So I have put that on the website because people have been buying them. And I didn't want them waiting around for weeks for the product to come. So, yeah, middle of February, I should have the stock fully available on the website. And I'm going to start selling on Amazon and eBay and things like that, just to try and broaden my reach, really. But yeah, get them on the website, middle of Feb.
And I would say a good shout as well would be to talk to the lads that are bashing these kind of videos. So the influencers, I can put you in touch with a good few of them. I think they'd be all over this, to be honest, mate, and might be able to push it for you as well. But I hope this little chat tonight has got the ball rolling a little bit for you, because I think it's a brilliant product. Mark Neeson just says, good evening, lads. Brilliant idea. Jason Brown's asking, how much is it for the stand and a couple bags? If he was to buy the stand and a couple of bags, Mark.
So a couple of bags. So the bags are sold in pairs, which are $19.99, and then the stand is $39.99. It was priced originally at $29.99, but some of my costs have changed, so unfortunately I've had to put that up to $39.99. And even that, I don't make any money on the stands. That's just covering costs. I'm trying to. I'm going to look at other options because the cost of the stands got a bit out of control. But yeah, $39.99 for the stands. Over £75, you get free delivery.
I mean, you mentioned earlier some lads are just knocking up a stand out a bit of 3x2, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I done at the start. I had some old mop stick handrail and just made a stand out of that. A little off-cut of plywood, bit of mop stick handrail, shelf bracket to give it some support, and a coat hook on the front. Worked perfect. You could literally knock one up for a couple of quid.
What I'm thinking is I've got a plus. You know the I'm trying to think of the name now. It's just completely gone out of my mind. The spot board that we use. I don't use one anymore. I'll just work out the tub. But I've got a metal spot board stand, and I reckon if I were to open that out, I could probably hook the bag on that. So I suppose you could use. Spreads are quite resourceful and we're tight as well. So I suppose we could use anything. We could knock up something and hang it rather than. I'm not saying not to buy your stand, but I'm just thinking. For me, if I wanted to test the bag out, I'd probably just buy a bag initially, and if it's something I'm going to use week in and week out, maybe then invest in the stand. But Mike Smart just says that he empties his into the customer's garden under the hedge. But the problem is, if they haven't got a hedge, that's when you get into trouble, isn't it? Because you end up trying to sneak it into the daffodils, and
I've
get smacked hands.
I've said to people along the way that this might not be suitable for every job that you go on. There will be places that you can chuck it and the customer won't mind. So you won't need a shark bag for that. I'm just trying to put a product there for the jobs that you do need it. If you're at like £1 million house and they've got all lovely driveways and artificial grass, they're not going to want that tipped anywhere. And they've got fancy kitchens and things. They're not going to want that poured anywhere that's going to cause any damage or leave any stains. So it would be perfect for that job.
It's always a risk. I say, I'm speaking from the perception of a domestic plasterer who's been in the game a long time. It's always something, and I reckon the spreads will relate with me on this. It's always something you try to sneak out at the end of the job. It's like, where can I get rid of this? And we develop these sneaky ways of how to get rid of it. But this to me seems like it's a good solution for that problem. Wayne Cox says that he's actually tested out your shark bag last week, and he says he was really impressed, mate. He said as soon as I finished my second mix, I tip the dirty washout straight into the shark bag when I'm finished. And by the time it's finished, it's fully drained out. So yeah, stock it. What would you say then, Wayne? An hour and a half? I suppose as well, it would depend on how lazy you are and how bad that slop water is as well. Because if you're doing it at the end of every day, I suppose it's going to drain pretty fast. Whereas if you're like me and you're leaving it 2 or 3 days and then you try and do it, I suppose it will take longer. Is that right?
Yeah, well, obviously, the better you scrape out your buckets before washing them down, the less sediment that's going to be in that water, the less it's going to have to go through the bag. So the better you clean up before washing down, the longer your shark bag will last and the quicker it will drain down for you.
Chris Watson, how long do you expect one bag to last? I know that it's difficult to say, depending on use. Yeah, I suppose you could have a go at rinsing it out, could you? Try and get 2 uses out of it.
You could give it a go, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there'll be people that try and put them through the washing machines to prolong the life, but none of that's been tested. It has been designed to be a disposable product to get you through a job, and at the end of the job, you chuck it away. If you want to leave that to the side and then maybe dig out that sediment and give it a rinse out and try and use it again and keep it going as long as you can, give it a go, report back, let me know how it goes. But obviously, it's a filter material, the bag, so that filter is going to clog up as the sediment's going through it. So it's not going to last forever.
Yeah, I suppose it works the same as any kind of filter, like an air filter or an oil filter on an engine. Eventually, it's going to need to swap in. So,
yeah, awesome.
Just check if there's any last final comments that have come in. We're going to wrap up. I appreciate your time as well, Mark, because we're pushing to 40 minutes now. Bradley Hancock, I was just on a WhatsApp call with the tape slayer, and he's got his bag now. So, yeah, Lee Griffiths is the man you want to speak to because he'll do you a really good review on this. He's got Art of Gold, and I'm sure that if he likes the product, he'll push it out and do some video content for you. That's what I would be thinking. Try and speak to the spreads and get them to do some video reviews for you, mate. And I can see this. I can see this selling really well, to be fair. So, well, I think that wraps us up then, Mark. Can we get you on again to talk maybe in a few months' time when the boys have tried it out and we can come back, have a chat, and you can update the boys again with prices and where to buy them, etc. But for now, guys, go and follow Mark's Facebook page. It's called Shark Bags on Facebook, and if you do want to get your hands on one of these for free, all you need to do is follow that page. And the lads that have commented this evening on the live chat, what I'm going to do is put all your names into a hat. And I've got a new digital wheel that we're going to pull onto Trial Talk live, spin the wheel, and we'll pull a name out of the hat. And 2 free shark bags will go to somebody that's jumped on the chat tonight. So hope that's been good for you, lads. Thanks again, Mark, mate. Appreciate you coming on, and best of luck with the product, mate. Hope it goes well. All the best, guys. And thanks for joining us this evening. See you later. Bye-bye.